It feels liberating, rejuvenating, and awesome when you start over again, when you leave the chains behind, those chains that hold you back, drag you down, and make your life so miserable. But most people never get started again once they have settled down on something. They never start again. And how to start again in any situation in your life is what I am going to talk about today. So, allow me to introduce myself to you. My name is Andreas Dorn and I am your certified NLP trainer here in Malaysia, working in a company called Asia Mind Dynamics. And we are training people in NLP and we are helping them to experience the life they want to experience. Hey, Sean, no sound? Are you sure there's no sound? No sound, no sound? Please let me know if there's no sound, because I can hear sound. Last time you already had no sound. Please, guys, let me hear if there's any sound on your side. Let me just check that out quickly on my side. How I'm doing this is... Nachra, can you check on your side if there's sound? Please, 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 please. That would be very useful. Okay, I need to... I have sound here on my side, okay? And Sean, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? That's not good, no. Hold on, let me just check it out on my own Facebook page if I am live and if I... Huh? Okay, I can hear sound. Nashwa says I have sound. Sean, it's again you had problems last time, okay? I was just sorry about that. I was just starting to introduce myself to you. And okay, again, my name is Andreas Dorn and I'm a certified NLP trainer here, running a company called Asia Mind Dynamics in Malaysia. In Malaysia, we are running a company called Asia Mind Dynamics. We're providing certified NLP practitioner training, helping people to experience the life they want to achieve it. And today we are going to talk about helping people to move on and starting over again. But before we start, let's listen to my introductory video. All right. Okay, I see some people come up there again in a moment. I'm going to say hello to you in just a couple of moments. But before I'm doing this, please introduce yourself. Of course, you did already contribute to this session. Ask any question. Don't be silent, because if you have a question, somebody else might have the same question. So it would be useful, of course, to ask questions. Okay, share your experience. And in the end of the session, I promise you that you will know what to do to move on in your life if you need to move on. So again, ask your questions, comment, participate, and press that magic button somewhere in your Facebook, so that Facebook gets notified that you like this video, and it would be really, really awesome. All right, we are talking today about letting go and getting started again. And before we really get started, let me just give a quick shout out. First of all, it was Sean. He was here. I'm not sure if he's still here. He had a problem last time already hearing me. Now I'm not sure if he can hear me. Hopefully he can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me now. Natra, of course, my darling wife and co-trainer, is here as well. Well, good to see you as well, and my dear friends Orioni. All right, it's so nice that you are here again. All of you are really awesome people. So if we are good, we can start rolling the show right now. And let's hear some noise first. All right. Well, tonight we're going to talk about starting again, starting over again. And I thought about this topic because it's actually a very personal experience that I would like to share with you, and it relates to this picture here, which is not my picture, of course. You see, over the last couple of years, I've been running, jogging heavily around my apartment block, condominium block down in Tamandesa. Loved it, was enjoying it, and since last year only I have this Fitbit. Not that I'm doing an advertisement for Fitbit here, but Fitbit helped me to really measure my performance, and that was really cool. I could see how much I eat, I could see how much I run, I could see how many calories I burned, and it really pushed me actually to a higher level. And I really realized how good it is, how good I feel, and I felt the energy in my body and the sweat running, and it was just lovely and great, and overall just awesome. And I enjoyed the results. And hey, Surani, for example, you gave me a compliment recently that I actually lost weight. And yes, I lost weight. I was in Europe the other week. There was a scale, and finally I realized, yay, my weight went down, and it was so cool. I felt so good. Before I went to Europe, something actually happened here in Malaysia. We had the haze. And the values were really terrible. The air pollution level was really high. It was unhealthy to run. People had a mask. I bought a mask for the very first time. I bought a mask, and that was like, whoa. And of course, I don't want to run. It was really hot, of course. It would have been really sweaty to run there. But to run in haze, it's really terrible. It's unhealthy. So I stopped. Running. And the haze was going on for, I think, about 4 weeks or something like that. And I just didn't run anymore. And that was, I think, one time when it was away, and I ran a little bit. But I wasn't in the mood so much to run. So I stopped. And then I went to Europe. And in Europe, of course, we walked much more in that quick holiday that we had. So walking was enough. And then now recently we went for a week for training first in a part of Malaysia, then over to my mom-in-law up in the north. And I'm also sitting there. Nothing really worked, and I didn't run. And yesterday evening we came home, traveling back after the holidays. And I was sitting there at home, and I was wondering, shall I start again? And I had this thought a couple of times. Something is happening. It will come to me that I want to run. And I was sitting there, and the voices in my head said like, I got up early in the morning time, 5 o'clock. Was pretty exhausted from the ride. It was not much traffic jam, but I was exhausted because about 5 or 6 hours of driving. And then the voice in my head said like, really, you want to go running? Why not postponing it to another day, like today, Tuesday? Okay, Tuesday is my Facebook live session, so let's do it Wednesday. Maybe not Wednesday, maybe next week only, because in the end of this week I run my NLP Master Practitioner training. So I thought like, really contemplated of just sitting on the sofa, watching a video, a movie, enjoying evening, eating something, and not running again. And that's when I finally made the decision again and said like, I need to do this, really, I need to do that. And I had to get started. And what I was doing then, it's just my story here right now. What I was doing is like, I saw my goal in front of me, or actually heard the compliments coming up to me again, and I realized, hey, do I really want to waste all these 3 or 4 years of running, this 1 year of extreme running and really pushing hard to get my weight a little bit down at least, you know? And I thought like, I gotta fall in love with my sweat again. and I realized I had to play it in my mind. I had to move that negative voice away. And I had to start thinking about all the advantages of running and how good I feel. And hey, I did run. I did run. It was a bit lesser. It was a little bit lesser than usual. But today I feel terrible because my body is painful, a bit of muscle ache, but it felt I have to move up the energy again. But I did it and I celebrated, and it was really, 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 really good to get started again and letting go. Now the big question is, before I move on to the next chapter, I also want to do a special shout out to somebody whom I haven't heard for a long time. Satria, good to see you as well, and Brian is here live as well, and Sean, you figured out it's your phone then. You gotta check something on your phone. And James, it's also good to see you. Thanks for confirming that the volume is clear and loud, and I hope Sue is still here. That would be wonderful overall. Great to see you guys. Anybody else joining us in this Facebook Live, please let me know if you are there. So the question really is, how many times do we actually give up? Just think about that, go back to your New Year's Eve resolutions. Hey, we got a new year coming up soon. Some people think about already New Year's Eve resolutions. Think about your old resolutions for 2019. How enthusiastic have you been? Go back and check them. But how many people actually are following through, I read a statistic somehow last year that only about 3% of those who are setting New Year's Eve resolution actually follow through. How small is that number? How many people actually do this change that they are setting out to do now? New Year's Eve is just a date, of course. You can start again wherever you are, and I'm talking about more possibilities. Think about that specific business idea that you have so long. So you started in a company and you're working your way up and had a good time maybe, and it was really fun, but somehow in the last couple of months or years the fire has settled down. You are no longer that enthusiastic about going to work. The motivation is down and certain thoughts come up in your mind. Maybe you want to run your own company. And that's a challenge for some, because hey, then you have to start over again. How do you start over again when you are settled down so much? Maybe you have a family, maybe you have some school-going kids, maybe you are still single. But it actually feels so good, that you are settled down in a company, you are earning your salary. And why changing? But you have that feeling of starting over again. You just don't know how to get it done. And you might talk to your friends, you might talk to your family, but you never really start doing it. And it's a nagging feeling within yourself of not getting it done. Even so, you've got it. You've got the resources. And imagine more of a actual fact, actually a weight loss journey. How many people actually want to go down, lose weight, get down to the dream figure? It's not about losing weight, but it's getting about more energy, living healthier, stop eating the food you shouldn't eat. Losing weight along that line is maybe a byproduct overall. But how many people are really consequently really following through? They might get started somewhere. They might do the walking, they might do the running, they might go and join a gym center, they might do something. But then, hey, along that line, how many people are just stop doing it? And they are stopping again for a couple of weeks or months or maybe years, and they know exactly they should start again. The big should. They should start again. Starting over again in their weight loss journey. And they have that nagging doubt. What happened again? What happens if I fail so much and as the scale ticks higher? They know they need to do it but never get started on it. Sadly enough, and I have to mention it as well, of course, what happened in marriages. Because I was reading a lot of articles around this topic here right now, and how many people have settled in their marriages. And they are married for a couple of years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And they just know, actually, the marriage is over. It's just convenient, settled down. And in their mind, they're thinking like, hey, if I leave my family now, I have to start over again. Maybe I'm not that pretty anymore, not so handsome anymore. The hair is receding. Hey, the stomach got bigger. The market is over, and you're just holding on to a marriage which is no longer worthwhile thinking about it, you know? And you're thinking about giving it all up. At least I've got a partner to hold on to for the rest of my life, and so why shall I leave my partner right now and start all over again, looking into a emptiness, maybe, don't know if there's something worth living for. If you're 30 or 40 or 50 years, hey, it's possible, right? Even after 60 or 70, people can still get started somewhere. Tell me, guys, if you're with me on this level here right now, or if you have ever had thoughts like this along that line of not knowing how to get started something, because actually it can be scary, because it comes from somewhere. Starting over is scary, you know. For many people, it is not an option. They don't see it as an option, and it is a terrible slide I put up here right now. Starting over is not an option for many people, because they're thinking like, what happens if I don't make it? Again, failing again. What happens if I again can't make it happen? How will people look at me? How will I feel again? I'd rather stick to something that is known and familiar to me along that line, instead of starting over again. And it's because we have learned so intensively of failing is not an option. It comes from life, it comes from school, it comes from education, that we can't fail, we can't see us again and again and again stepping up and doing it over and over again. We have been educated that there is failure in life, as terrible as it sounds. But it's really about your life, you know, and there's only, many people think like that, either succeeding or failing, no something in between. And that's a terrible lesson that we've been told through our life, that education tells us. And these stories, these lessons, these wrong conversations are stored in our mind. In our unconscious mind. And I'm not saying that it's easy to get started again. But it's the question you need to ask yourself. Is it really easier to live this one beautiful life that you might have in a desperate situation, living a life full of regret, or going all the way out and starting all over again? So you have to realize that starting over does not mean that you are failing. Starting over doesn't mean that you are failing, that you have failed before. It's a new start, and I'm going to talk about it. Of course, it's possible that you again don't make it happen. It is really possible. But maybe this time when you start up again, when you start over again, you make different decisions in your life. You learn from your old mistakes, and that is the most important part here right now. You have to learn from your old mistakes, otherwise you're repeating the same mistake over and over and over again. So yeah, if you start to learn from your old mistakes, your chances to succeed actually increase. Don't rush into it. Don't really rush into it. You know, you need to settle down sometimes. It's against what I'm teaching sometimes. Don't be emotional about it. We are in a situation where we are feeling bad. And we say like, hey, I gotta stop what I'm doing right now. I gotta stop eating, and I gotta start working the exercise again. I gotta stop this marriage, and you're saying the wrong thing. I gotta stop in this work, and you're telling your boss you resign, and you rushed into it, and because you were emotional. Don't do it. Don't rush into it. Think about it first. Think about it. The next 2 or 3 steps I'm going to tell you are incredibly important to listen to, you know. So don't rush into it. Take your time in studying it to help you over the next couple of hurdles that you really need to go. And the next step is really important. You need to expect Setbacks. Oh, I forgot to write something down. Yeah, you need to expect setbacks. You need to expect setbacks. Not everything is going to be easy because you have settled down earlier for many, many years. But you need to have that mindset of learning, getting back into the learning part. Yeah, if you have a setback, something takes longer than expected. You're learning new stuff, so you have to learn to have patience with yourself. Most people rush into something hoping to succeed immediately. No, it won't. It takes longer than you think. But hey, if you ultimately succeed, you are better than the 97% of the people who never get started on something. And hey, the 97%, I've made up that number, okay? You want to be the 3% that gets started and succeed ultimately. Start over again. Well, that's just my number. There's no scientific background on this one, okay? And you need to realize, yay, your past actually holds you back. Some people get it totally wrong. Some people say, that your past does not determine your future. And it's so totally wrong to say that your past determines your future, because you have these unconscious beliefs inside you. It's rubbish to say that your past doesn't determine your future. You have that limiting beliefs inside you. You have the negative emotions inside you. You have all that imprints inside you of failures, of expectations, of not having made it overall. That is the stuff that is going to hold you back. You must become aware of it. It's going to be in your face, and if it's in your face, you got to get over it. If your mind is screaming, go back, give up. You got to ignore that voice in your head, and you got to go forward and succeed. You're going to fail again. Yes, you're going to fall down again, but you got to get up and you got to work again, and you got to manage it, because you don't know if you want to start again over and over again. But you always have a chance to start again. So here, you got to realize your past holds you back. You got to become aware of that. And you become aware of it when you feel negative about it, when you feel like giving up again, when your mind thinks it's too hard. That's a time when your past is holding you back. Your past is in front of you. But you got to break through. You got to break through that limiting belief and that negative emotion, and got to take that step forward to make it ultimately happen. And the point I forgot to tell you is really, as strange as it sounds, you need to know what you want in your life. That falls along to that point of don't rush into it. Thanks for the liking along that line, okay? Yes, you got to know what you want. Don't rush into making the wrong decision and do something you don't regret again afterwards. Know exactly what you want in your life. You might have the courage now, but know exactly what you want, your end point. I'm always amazed in my industry. People always say that they don't know what they want. You need to be clear about the end point right now, because that means to you, you got to switch off your emotional brain. When you are devastated, when you are depressed, when you are sad, you want to rush into something. But you got to switch that off for a while and sit down and realize what you want and draw out a plan on how to get there. Every single step along the way. Start with the end point in mind and work your way backwards. And become clear about it, logically speaking, of what you want. This might take time because it's something you haven't got used to it. You might have setbacks along that line. Yay, but you got to be realistic in the way that you have to know where you want to go. And you also need to know where are you right now with regard to this one. Capture all the learnings you had along that line. Capture all the learnings that you had in your life, all the resources you accumulated throughout your whole childhood. Put that forward and think really about how all those resources you have in your life accumulated, how you can utilize it going forward, managing the hurdles in front of you, that limitation, that negative emotion, that limiting beliefs you hold in your life. Yes, Alex, you got to realize, you got to expect setbacks. Life is not always easy, even with all your knowledge in front of you. But the more you become aware of it, the more you are taking off that that folder, that blindfold from your mind sometimes. You know it's coming, and then you have to start reframing your setbacks and learning opportunities. They are learning opportunities. They got to be fun to work with, because anytime you have a setback, as long as it doesn't put you back to the beginning part again, you have learned something. And yeah, even if you get back to the very first beginning again, you have learned an immense amount again. Most people always bring Thomas Edison and they're saying like, hey, he's learned it 1,000 times. 1,000 times or 2,000 times or 10,000 times before he got started up again. And he's realized, yeah, I learned another way of not getting it done. And I want to do a very special shout out to somebody awesome. And I hope you guys watching this right now, you are linking up with Angela. Angela, it's so good to see you here. You are the one person I'm learning a lot from constantly, and you know that, okay? And you are awesome in how you create stuff. Guys, if you want to learn something, you got to connect to Angela. She's a real amazing lady from the US. So great, you know. And I'm so happy you are here right now. That is a very special shout out to you here, Angela, right now. You are my dear friend. I admire you so much of how you are crushing it over there in the US. It's really awesome, all right? Yes, I hope that we sooner or later are going to do something with NLP in your health, with your health coaches as well. It would be awesome. And it's something in my plan as well next year, that I have to reach out to you and do something awesome around that one as well. So please give me a couple of weeks, month more, and I know we're going to shake the world on its angles, all right? Awesome. Thank you so very much. Hey, and for the rest of you, I want to say something, of course. Hey, our next NLP training comes up. And you know that, all right? And you know in our NLP training, we always challenge people to understand themselves, to realize that limitations they have, to understand them, to influence yourself, to transform yourself, to reframe obstacles into learning opportunities. So you are creating the life you so much deserve to have. That would be really awesome. And the next training is coming up somewhere soon, namely in December already, okay? In December we have it coming up. Here are our training dates. No, not that one. Oh gosh, it's the wrong one right now. Doesn't really matter right now. The next training date's coming up. Send me an email, andreas.dorn@gmail.com. Hey Sunny, also to you, hello. At gmail.com if you are interested to learn the most amazing NLP here in Malaysia and across the world, so you can really transform yourself. It would be so awesome if we see you in December. Send me an email right now and really take advantage of that training, because it's the last one before 2020. Do you actually realize that 2020 starts a very new decade? Is that the right pronunciation right now? Decade. Not decadent, decade, all right? 2020, another 10 years in front of you. What will be your goals? All right, I'll leave it at that point. Guys, thank you very much. Like and share this video, and along that line, you create your life. All right, oops, I want to switch that off. I don't know how to switch it off right now. Along the line then, all right, bye-bye, guys.